Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So I'm going to share a message with you today that I did in a little bit of a lighter way with my oldest son, Tyson, this morning. He's 7. But it made me reflect on as I'm walking from dropping him off and like, man, this is such an important message delivered to you today. So here we go. Your actions affect other people. There are consequences to the actions, the choices, the thoughts that you have. Consequences. So let me give you an example. And this is what happened with Tyson this morning. Now, when I reflect on it, compared to say like a year ago, when we had so many days of like, I don't want to go to school, I don't like just a lot of complaining, whining, resistance, a lot of friction between Tyson and I. A lot of like, okay, who do I need to be right now to get my son to school? Because I need to work, I have appointments, I have other things I'm doing, I have meetings, like, dude, you can't be. And so what I said to Tyson today is it's like 11 minutes before 9. I have a meet with my swim coach at 9. It's a good 15-minute drive. So I will be late today because my son was late today because he was kind of like taking his time, and we do lots of like countdowns of time. And, you know, Tyson is just, he's perhaps like a lot of 7-year-olds, but he's also dyslexic. And a lot of dyslexics, just the concept of time is like really lost on them. You really got to work with them even more so. And so he took extra time. So now I'm late. And so I talked about it today, not in a lecturing, but as for him to kind of, you know, understand this. Like, you might think it's no big deal that you're late, but because you're late, now you make mommy late. And now mommy's late and I can maybe make my swim coach late. And or mommy's going to miss some key parts of her lesson that's really important, that I invest this time for me to take care of mommy so I can be a better mommy for you. And the fact that I'm now losing some of the time is not okay with me. When we talk about this right now, 98% of the time, Tyson's pretty awesome with it. Like, he really is. And do I like lay into him because this today? Of course not. Like, it was definitely a lighter thing, which is like, buddy, you gotta, and then I'm kind of like walking a little bit faster to go to school. Like, I'm not rushing it, but I'm like, hey buddy, come on, let's go. And he's like, you're walking too fast. I'm like, Tyson, your actions affect me, right? So yeah, we're going to hustle a little bit today. The rushed kind of thing in the morning is not a normal thing because I create a lot of routine, a lot of consistency, a lot of like preparation the night before. And so there's, you know, most mornings compared to in the past mornings where they have been at times is like night and day, right? But the purpose of this, again, was for me to say, hey buddy, like when you do this, this is how it affects mommy. Right? Or you're walking late to a class, and so now you're having to kind of, Tyson needs a little bit of time. That's why I give him extra time in the mornings. That's why I have a lot of, because he's not just a kid that goes, okay, go, let's go, and like snap your fingers, and it's like, okay, let's go do it. Like, he just kind of like takes his time, and I know that about Tyson, so I allow for that, right? So I know that him coming late to class, he's going to dilly-dally, you know, there's just all these things that could happen as a result of it. It becomes like this snowball effect. But here's the thing. I don't know if you really understand to the same effect. Now, you can take a look at that example and go, oh, yeah. If you're a mom, you've maybe even said, like, oh, God, I can relate to that, right? Like, oh, God, now I'm running late. Like, come on, guys, let's go. Not wanting to be that rushed, stressed kind of mommy in the morning. But yet it's like, come on, we got to, you know, stuff does not stop because you decide that you want to take more time or that you don't feel like it today, or suddenly you need to have, you know, he's hit chick in the morning. I'm like, dude, your breath is stinky. We got 2 options right now. Brush teeth, or we're going to get some apple slices for the guy. He's like, apple slices. I'm like, cool. Because my boy's like a real string bean. So it's like, let's get some more food in you. Awesome. Kind of clean your teeth naturally at the same time. Then he decides we get in the car like, oh, I don't like this. The wrong apple. I'm like, oh my good Lord, right? You know, the stuff that comes up as a parent. It's real. But I wonder if you understand that, sister. I wonder if you understand that things like this, the way that you talk about yourself, the possibly lack of love that you have for yourself, the hypercritical nature you have towards yourself, that whether or not you actually say the words, which I know a lot of you do, like, oh, I'm fat, or someone gives you a compliment, like, oh, it's just, like you deflect it, like, oh, it must just be the lighting today, oh, I don't usually look that way. Like you don't receive love and compliments from others. Or you stand in front of the mirror and you go, oh my God, I'm so fat. And your little ears that are in the house hear that. Your husband hears that. For a lot of you, your husband thinks you're the most beautiful fucking creature he's ever experienced. But yet you don't see it. And your thought of that is going to affect the way that you show up. You show up intimately. It's going to affect the way that your husband sees you. If he give you, maybe he gives you a compliment and you deflect that. Oh, you're just saying that because like you want to get laid tonight, or like, there can become a whole thing about this, right? You have little boys or little girls that hear you say negative things about your body or yourself, and they start to mimic that. Listen, I remember going on a diet at the age of 12. My mother yo-yo dieted her whole life, and I was never a fat kid, at all. I was always really active and athletic and playing, I grew up in the 70s, 80s, we're playing outside, and there's just, even kids being heavy it was such an anomaly for that to happen. And so I was like a lot of average kids. We did lots of sports and activities and not scheduled stuff. We just played in the street and went to the tennis courts and played basketball, played baseball. But I remember thinking at 12, this is what girls do, is we go on diets, because I watched my mother do it. So I went on something called the Scarsdale diet. It still floors me that my mom even allowed me to do this. Scarsdale diet, which was a big diet at the time in the early 80s. And it's funny because now I take a look at it, just a whole bunch of fucking carbs. It was just, calorie restriction. And I started on Monday. By Friday, I'd lost 5 pounds. Okay, 5 pounds for a 12-year-old girl, not cool. I don't know how much I would have weighed at that time. I don't know, 80 pounds maybe. I don't even know. So long ago. And then I went to sleepover, and we had junk food and pancakes the next day and stuff. And of course, I gained it all back. It was probably just water weight stuff, right? But I watched that, right? I watched my mother go through that. I watched her not so much. I don't know if I heard her say words about her body, but there's a lot of the unspoken stuff too, isn't there? Right? A lot of the things that we see and we feel and we pick up on, children are very intuitive. Our kids are fucking smart. The tension that you might have around your husband, and you guys walking on eggshells around one another, just talking about surface shit, not seeing hugs and kisses and hearing I love you. Your children are hearing that too. Right? The way you show up in life, they all have an effect. There's consequences to all this. Your choices affect other people. How about something as simple as, you love up on your Starbucks barista. You let them know, I appreciate you. I remember saying to my hairstylist, I'm working with my stylist, Martin, for pretty much since I moved here, a month after, so about a year and a half. And I do a lot of people I appreciate, I let people know that I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I remember him saying to me, this is maybe 6 months ago, he's like, there's something you said last time. It really affected me. I just want to share it with you. And I'm thinking oh shit. Because it's funny, we have such a fun relationship together. And he was probably one of the people outside of my husband that I have no filter with. Maybe that's a hairstylist thing, but he's just awesome. I just love Martin to death. And so he's like, when you said to me, I appreciate you, he's like, that was awesome. Thank you. It really meant something that you said that to me. So you can have your choices, your actions affect people in that way as well. We have such power as human beings to create things in our life, to create relationships with other people, to create new experiences, to take ideas and to create value that can turn into businesses, to create a way of being that our children model and mimic that, to create incredible connection and passion and legacy with your marriage. that you model that for your children. You get to show them what true love is really about. And you show the hard parts of marriage too. Your choice can influence and affect other people that maybe follow you, right? They take a look at you online, they're just friends and stuff, and you've really influenced them by the choices you make when it comes to your health and your body. And they go, man, how do you do that? And can you tell me more about that? And wow, you're this age and your body's like that and your energy's like that. Like, what do you do, right? I mean, your choices and your actions affect people. As much as you may feel that you're like all by yourself, you could even be in a marriage, have kids, all by yourself, feel very alone. I understand that. Like, nobody understands me. I get that. But you need to know that your choices, your actions, your thoughts, they all affect people. Your choices have your choices and your actions have consequences. And it can be consequence of like something amazing. And that can be the consequence where it's like you're passing on a legacy of children thinking there's something wrong with their bodies, right? You're passing on the legacy to your children of sarcasm. And that communication doesn't come from a place of truth, but that we hide behind shit. Consequences. So here's my more tip for you today then, sister. I want you to take a look at one area of your life. Maybe it's with your children, your marriage, it could be with your body. And I want you to really take a look at one choice that you've made in the last week about that. So it could be something with your marriage, something that you said or didn't say, right? It could be a conversation you had or didn't have. With your body, it could be something new that you're doing to become stronger, leaner, faster, more energy. It could be choices you made where it's like, oh, Jesus, I really fell off the wagon. Like, I've stopped working out, I'm eating shitty food. This is not me. Like, once you take a look at one choice that you've made, in either when it comes to your health, when it comes to your children as a parent, and in your marriage. So take a look at the one choice. And then I want you to ask yourself this question. Is this choice getting me what I want? Okay, that's the first part of the question. Here's the second part. So you've identified what it is. The first part is this choice going to make what I want? The second piece of this is, who else is this choice affecting in my life right now? And that's it. And I want you to sit on that and really, marinate on that. Like, who else is this affecting right now? And this isn't to beat yourself up. It's called awareness, right? It's for you to understand that your choices have consequences. They affect other people. And it's up to you to make the choices in your life that will not only bring you what you want, but it's going to bring you what you want that involve the other people in your life, specifically your children and your husband. All right, sister, I have one big thing to share with you right now, okay? Here's the deal. Talking to one of my team members the other day, and it's like, man, how can I impact more women? How can I reach more of you, right? Like, how can I bring this message? Yes, a lot of you listen to the podcast, but listen, there's so many of you that don't subscribe to the newsletter. You are not getting all of the VIP access. You're not. So here's something new that I'm doing for you, okay? I did 3 live trainings inside a Facebook community I created called The Experience. Those trainings were live, and then I kept them on the page for just a couple days, and then I took them down. Okay, I deleted them off the page, but I actually saved them because they were really fucking good. And I was like, I can use this for something else. I know I can. I want to share it. I don't want to just like delete it so it's completely gone. And so I was mentioning this to that member of my team, and I was like, you know what? These are great. Like, these are great trainings. And they are all about the one thing that so many of you tell me about, which is I don't know who I am, and how do I remember who I am again? And so these trainings really take you through this process. Everyone that is now subscribing to the newsletter, okay, anyone new, if you're existing, I will send this to you. Actually, I'm going to send out the newsletter so everyone gets a copy of this. But you will get these 3 training videos. They were incredible. The feedback I got from women was just crazy, unreal, like amazing shifts and transformations from going through these trainings. And you're going to now get them when you go onto the newsletter. So I want you to go right now, head over to drkarenosborn.com, drkarenosborn.com. You're going to enter in your email when you see the big picture of me, my big happy face. You're also going to get the More for Action guide as well too, but more importantly, those 3 incredible training videos, which will take you through a process to remember who you are, sister. That is the basis of all of this. If you don't know who you are, you will not know what you want. If you don't know who you are, remember who you are, you will not know your deep why. And if you don't know and remember who you are, you're not going to be consistent. You're not going to take action. You're just going to sit on this. So, drkarenosborne.com, opt in the newsletter, and we will get you started on that today. So I will talk to you in the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.